Enea. And today we have a great lineup of speakers. And let me just introduce them before we start. So we will start with Carlos Sanchez Rivero, team leader financing for energy efficiency in DG Energy. And then we have Adrian Hill, responsible for European policy and communication and energy cities, coordinator of the European City Facility. And after these two speakers, we will have 4 speakers presenting the experiences from cities. So Maria Giovanna Zamborlini, European Program Officer in the municipality of Schaerbeek here in Belgium, with her colleague Guillaume de Wispeler from Sibelga, who's the distribution network operator for electricity and natural gas in the Brussels region. Mauro Cornaglia, energy engineer of the municipality of Pinerolo in Italy, and Vladko Kovacic, senior legal counsel at the city of Karlovac in Croatia. Okay, without further ado, I will give the floor to Carlos for the first presentation.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, I was done. Yeah, it's probably better. So Michele, thank you very much, and welcome to everyone to our session, and good afternoon. It's my real pleasure to be here today with you in this session, in this Covenant of Major Investment Forum and Efficiency Financial Marketplace event. That I think it is fantastic, and I think we have missed that for the last couple of years. I think it's fantastic that we are back. I will try to be short, because I think it will be much more relevant to listen from cities and local actors specific examples. I will try to give you just an update on where we are on the policy for energy efficiency in the EU. So the slides, I can control them, or if. Okay, so then I will start with I would say the broad policy context that it is the European Green Deal. I think at this moment, probably most of you know already what we are talking about. But the Green Deal is the top policy priority of the European Commission, and in a nutshell, is the objective to make Europe the first climate neutral continent by 2050. No? We normally say that the European Green Deal is not really a vision, but it is indeed the new European growth strategy, and with the idea to make the EU economy sustainable and turning climate challenges into opportunities across all policy areas. The cornerstone of the European Green Deal is the European climate law that sets in stone the climate ambition by establishing a binding 2030 greenhouse gases emission target of minus 55%, and also setting a process for the 2040 target and a commitment to negative emissions by 2050. And the answer to address the challenges that are posed by the European Green Deal is the Fit for 55 package. So that package was presented by the Commission last year, in July last year, and it includes a set of interconnected initiatives to translate, as I said, the Green Deal into the different areas of our economy and our life, energy being at the center of it, energy production, but also buildings, transport, industry, agriculture, etc. And the clean energy transition and energy efficiency is at the very center of the Fit for 55 or the Fit for 55 package, because energy production and consumption represents 75% of the Union greenhouse gases emission. So as part of the package, we propose a revision of the Renewable Energy Directive, a revision of the Energy Efficiency Directive, and also a revision of the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. So those are the areas that are more linked to the area of energy efficiency, sustainable energy, but also that together with the extension of ETS to other sectors and the Social Climate Fund somehow will make a comprehensive package for energy efficiency. On top of it, and the, let's say, Russian unprovoked military aggression of Ukraine has created a number of new challenges for the EU. First, it has created the security of supply of energy supply crisis. It has also aggravated the energy market crisis and increase in energy prices, and also adds further complexity, but also reinforce the need to take climate action as soon as possible. So in this context, the Commission adopted the REPowerEU plan this spring. That this is the plan to end the dependency on Russian fossil fuel imports by 2027. So this is very concrete. This very concrete plan for Europe. So it's coming on top of the Fit for 55 package of proposals, and it sets a number of actions in three main areas: safe energy, diversify supplies, and the substitution of fossil fuels by accelerating the Europe's clean energy transition, basically reinforcing and upscaling the deployment of renewables. And this together with smartly combining investments and reforms. And saving energy is we always say that is the cheapest and the safest and cleanest way of reducing our dependence on fossil fuels from Russia. So that is why, as part of the REPowerEU package, it contained the EU Safe Energy communication. Basically, it has two main objectives. So it has this dual approach. On the first hand, it is really to work on the very short-term measures and achieving energy savings that could be achieved through small changes in behavior by everyone, by consumers and enterprises. At the same time, it also strengthens structural energy efficiency measures. Notably, the Commission proposed to increase of the energy efficiency target that was proposed as part of the revision from 9% to 13% reduction, and it invites the co-legislators to consider additional improvements for the proposal. So somehow to complement also this picture, because you know that the developments continue and the situation still persists. So lately, the Commission has presented the Safe Gas for Safe Winter plan. That the main objective is to address the short-term natural gas supply disruption, and also we have presented the emergency intervention for high energy prices, with the objective to address the short-term volatility and uncertainty in the energy markets. So we have a very strong regulatory package in place. I've tried to give you just a hint of what it is, but it's really very ambitious. So the Green Deal and the Fit for 55 package is extremely ambitious, and it's also topped up with the objectives of the REPowerEU. So it's very regulatory challenging, let's say, environment, and we need to also pair that with adequate financing for it, because out of it, when it comes, it's a huge investment need, in order to be able to deliver on our objectives, that the EU has set. The multi-annual financial framework 21-27, together with the Next Generation EU, that was the additional package that was mobilized to respond to the COVID crisis mainly. It really represents a fantastic opportunity for the clean energy transition and for energy efficiency. So out of the total 1,800 billion euros that are part of this package, 30% of this need to be dedicated to climate action. So that represents around 550 billion euros. When we compare that to the money that was earmarked to climate action in the previous MFF, so we are talking about doubling the resources that were available at that time. If we zoom in a bit on the energy efficiency part, I think it's even more I mean, increase is higher actually, because I think we are talking about the multiplication factor of 3.5 compared to the support that we get from the new budget in the previous MFF. So this is really providing a very solid foundation for trying to deliver and contributing to deliver on the objectives that we have set collectively in the EU. I try to put also a bit of what are the building landscape for energy efficiency. I think we can differentiate in 5 different areas. So first area is direct investments, where we have these programs that are massively supporting energy efficiency and building renovation program with direct investments. Normally talking about the recovery and resilience facility, you know, that is the new facility that was put in place by the EU to respond to the COVID crisis, and that it's going to mobilize the biggest share of the energy efficiency support in the next years. That more or less goes around 55 billion euros. So this is really unprecedented compared to the previous EU funding support schemes, together with the RRF, cohesion policy funds, that are traditionally one of the most important ways of supporting energy efficiency from the EU budget, and also the new funds that will come from the ETS modernization fund already there and the social climate fund. We also have the part on leveraging private investments, mainly through InvestEU, also research and innovation through Horizon Europe, addressing market barriers, normally through our LifeSet sub-program, and also very importantly, and this is part of the topic that we're going to discuss today here, is on the technical assistance and project development assistance, right? And I will turn to my last slide, and I think it is important here. What I want to pass, the main message is that to deliver on the objectives that we have set, we have the EU budget and the public funds also from member states that are very important, but we need to use them wisely, and we need to take the most out of it, because most of the investment needs will need to be covered with the private sector. So we need to use the catalytic effect of public funds. And to do that, we need to do financing schemes, and we need to be able to provide the project development assistance, technical assistance that has been very useful. So in this context, the UCT facility, I think it is really a business model that really makes a lot of sense and fits very well within our policy context. No? And I'm really very happy to see that the demand for the city facilities is really going very well. It is very high. I think we have the figures here that in total we have received more than 770 applications in the four different halls that are expected to lead to around 213 investment concepts from all across Europe. I think this is fantastic. And this is really contributing and providing real added value to the challenges that we have in Europe. So probably we are now in a situation that we also need to go to the next step. So it's becoming also very relevant that these investment concepts will materialize eventually. So I think matchmaking with investors and financiers is becoming more and more important. I think this type of events are really the perfect place for these things to happen. So as I said, I think it is really relevant, and I'm very happy to see that we have this session also in this event. So I will leave it here. Thank you very much, and I would like to congratulate again the city facility for the great work that it is being done for Europe. And well, that's the
Thank you, Carlos. And immediately to Adrian.
Is this on? Very good. Thank you very much, Carlos. My name is Adrian Heel. I'm from Energy Cities, and we are a network of cities across Europe, about 1,000 cities, and we are one of the consortium who are running the EU city facility. To pick up on Carlos's point about money as a catalyst, my question is this the best money that the European Commission spends? Because I think it might be, honestly. I apologize if I come across as a bit of a salesman, but it's a really exciting project. So I'll just very quickly try and give you the broad outline of what it does and who it's for and who it's not for, because the EU city facility is not for Munich and Paris and Amsterdam, right? They have a lot of capacity, a lot of expertise in-house. This project, the EU city facility, is exceptionally good at targeting help and targeting cities that need help. The amounts at play that we're talking about are generally quite small, 60,000 euro per city. These are not massive gratuitous grants, but they're very well focused, and those grants are spent very specifically on two things. So in the first case, the city can engage a consultant to come in and do things like having a legal check on their projects. They want to renovate some social housing stock. They can do environmental impact assessments. They can do commercialization forecasts for a district heating network. Right? These are really specific tools and skills to do these things. The cities, quite small cities especially, do not have in-house. So they can bring in a consultant to do that, or they have the option of hiring someone to train their own staff and to upskill their staff. And that's really important as well, because you're building those skills now as we aim for our 2030 targets, but over the next decades, because these kinds of things are going to happen again and again and again. So there's a really key side benefit in that future skills. So in terms of who is interested, so far what we've seen from the 4 calls, the 4th one closed just at the end of September. Most of the interest comes from cities under 100,000 people. And just about all of the interest is from cities under 500,000 people. And that is really where like 1/3 of Europeans live. So we're reaching a huge amount of people and a number of people who don't necessarily benefit the same way that people in larger cities do. So that in itself is hugely positive. Most of the applications are from Southern Europe and Central and Eastern Europe. So geographically as well, we're getting a lot of help out to areas that I don't want to say need it more necessarily, but will benefit greatly from that help. In terms of what the money is being spent on, where we are now with the end of the 4th call. So we've received the applications. The first 3 calls have all been evaluated and the projects have been designated to go forward and to develop a financial plan, right? So in those financial plans, there's a detail, a description of what will be done. So it could be district heating, it could be building integrated renewables, it could be switching the streetlights to LEDs. 37% of the funds will be spent on building energy retrofits. So that right there is massive. That's a key part of the renovation wave and Fit for 55. And frankly, in this day and age, fighting inflation and protecting social groups. 15% of the funds are in district heating. So the people who were in this room before us will be very happy to hear that. And 11% of the funds on building integrated renewables. So again, helping to hit the energy efficiency directive, the renewable energy targets, but helping to secure Europe's energy security. Not that the program was designed with energy security in mind, but it'll be very interesting to see with the close of the 4th call 2 weeks ago, which was the only call that was conducted after the invasion of Ukraine, what kind of change we see in the project profile. That's something I'll be very, very curious to see as the evaluation goes forward. Overall, the budget is significant. It's 60 million euro. It comes from Horizon 2020. But the key benefit of it is that it unlocks so much more funding. By coming up with the financialization of these different projects, it allows cities to go out and get more funding. Now, in some cases, that's more EU funding, like an ELENA project, which might normally have a threshold of about 30 million, which would just be too much for a lot of smaller cities to try and take off. But we can group projects together to try and access that. And if you do have a big project, you get the guidance to be able to apply for that. And that's also another very important part of this project is the guidance. In each country, there is a national subject expert someone in Poland or Slovakia or Italy or wherever, and they know the financial landscape. So they have got relationships with commercial banks. They know the National Development Bank projects that might be interested. They understand the EU funding landscape. And once you have the sort of the foundations of a project in terms of the legal assessments and environmental impact assessments, they then help those cities figure out where is the best choice for me to try and go get funding to do this? Whose ethos lines up best with mine? Am I 1 minute? Perfect. So far what we're seeing is in the evaluations we've done, there's a sort of an expected source of funding. So the top four are commercial banks, EU funding, citizen funding, which is a really exciting sort of development that brings a whole element of social cohesion with it, and of course, national development banks. So all of those four sources of funding are really what we're seeing. There's a few other smaller ones, but those are the main sources that the projects will try and tackle. But right now we're at this really crucial point where we've got all the projects in and the evaluation of the fourth call is going on. Does it work? We don't know. Until the money comes in and the projects are shovels in the ground, we can't say for sure. I'm quite optimistic. I'm really looking forward to hearing from the cities after the short video about their experience and what they think the likelihood of success is. And just one other element to add is that there's also as we've got the evaluations, there's a communities of practice that's developing as well. So you group the district heating projects together, you group the renovation projects together, and then you can learn from each other. Is there a best practice here? Is there a pitfall to be avoided? That kind of thing. And that helps not only the projects themselves, but that community of practice also then works with the financial institutions. So we develop their familiarity and their understanding so that they can look at a district heating project and say, oh yeah, this meets my needs here, here, and here. Oh, for a district heating project, I need X. And they can ask those things, and that familiarity just helps things move along. And I think that's going to continue to pay dividends in the future as well. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. If you have questions afterwards, I'm happy to answer.
And now I would ask to play a short video that the European City Facility Consortium prepare for you.
Hello, UCF community. I'm Paola Rusconi, Senior Principal at DWS Sustainable Investments Europe and Fund Manager for the European Energy Efficiency Fund. I am also a member of the Investment Committee of the UCF program, and we are looking for cities and public authorities who are willing to take a journey into sustainability to develop through investment programs and projects for the local communities. If you're looking for an easy to access facility to give you support, resources, budget, expertise to develop your concepts to initialize this journey, please join us and stay in touch.
Hello, everybody. I am Joost de Klerk. I'm representing Belfius Bank. We are the bank of the Belgian cities. We are a market leader in loans to the Belgian cities too. And so we are confronted often with cities that come to us with an investment concept. And we see that these cities need a lot of help and support to come with an investment concept that works, an investment concept where a good analysis is done for the risks of the project, where a good analysis is done for the ins and out of the project, where sometimes external support has been done. But all this costs money. And I really think that the support of 60,000 euro of the European City Facility can help cities to come with a proven concept, with a good and justified budget, and also help us to convince the bank to finance this project. Thank you.
My name is Louise White, and I'm the ELENA coordinator at the European Investment Bank. ELENA provides technical assistance grants to help prepare energy efficiency and sustainable investment programs. We see firsthand the preparation needs on the ground and see strong synergies with the USIF facility. For example, USIF can be used to bridge the gap and do the work needed to apply for ELENA support. We strongly encourage you to use USIF to do the work necessary to receive ELENA, as well as to prepare the sustainable investment programs.
After some words from some different financial players, Then it's time to give the floor to cities, which worked hard to develop their investment concepts. And the first one will be the municipality of Schaerbeek, together with the other municipalities of the Brussels region and Sibelga. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yes, good, thank you. Great pleasure for us to be here with you and speak about the CLIC project. Not to get you confused, I work for Schaerbeek municipality, which is one of the 19 municipalities in a Brussels capital region. And then I will pass the word also to Guillaume that co-presented today with me. So let's give you a short introduction on the CLIC. Its scope is about public buildings for local public authorities. And in particular, the project focus on exemplary project of sustainable reduction of energy consumption by at least 35%. We're talking about buildings such as offices, schools, nurseries, culture and sports center. The main objective of the use of the UCF grant 60K has been to hire a project manager that has been coordinating the delivery of the investment concept. And thanks to this investment concept, it was possible to launch the RenoCLIC program. This is a one-stop shop for public building renovation that is owned by Sibelga. Sibelga is the intermunicipal cooperative that provide gas and electricity in Brussels capital region, and also in charge with several missions on energy transition. So concretely, what does RenoCLIC provide to local authorities? It provides the help to select the best project for renovation, also a pre-screening about energy consumption in the buildings, also centralized purchase for studies and work, identify potential grants opportunities to finance the project, and eventually monitor the results of the projects. The CLIC is contributing to the general objective of the region of Brussels in terms of reaching carbon neutrality by 2040 for public buildings. So the investment concept includes a series of objectives in terms of CO2 reduction, energy saving, increased energy, renewable energies, for a total investment side expected by 2040 of 886 million euros. This project is seen in terms of governance and collaboration between the all 19 municipalities of the Brussels region. Schaerbeek is one of them, the regional ministries, and in key essential crucial role from Sibelga that has been the technical partner. I pass now the word to Guillaume for the rest.
Thank you. The project targeted by DECLIC and now RenoCLIC concern local, regional and community public buildings, and more specifically, renovation of heating, cooling, ventilation equipment, but also the renovation of the building envelope, this roof insulation, floor, wall insulation, etc. Since 2016, Sibelga has had a very good experience with the renovation of HVAC installation and is now developing its experience in the renovation of entire buildings. Where are we today? The DECLIC investment concept was really the basic study of the program potential, as well as the opportunity to develop the first tools, the first processes, and the first list of projects. Today, we have been working to build the portfolio of projects. We audited 42 buildings, of which we selected just over half to continue. Of course, we work with iterations, so we will regularly relaunch new audits. 14 buildings
through the implementation of an EPC contract and the revamping of public street lighting in the municipality of None. The second main topic is related to the energy efficiency installation of a renewable energy production plant. In particular, we are expected to install at least 500 kilowatts of photovoltaic system and 2 hydroelectric plants in the small town of Pomaretto, that is the third municipality. The investment concept development was supported by the UCF grant and a co-financing of the municipality of Pinerolo. All these funds allow us to set up a pool of activities useful for the development of investment concept. All the activities were coordinated by the Energy Management Board of the municipality of Pinerolo. So we realized several activities, technical, like energy audits, evaluation of photovoltaic potential on several buildings, economic analysis, and legal analysis. So all these studies allow us to develop the investment concept, but also to go behind by defining the public procurement procedures to also to implement, to investigate the market interest about these investments. So these are some results. As the slide show, the leverage effect of the UCF contribution, thanks to this small grant that was presented before of 60,000 euros, we were able to develop an investment concept with a significant value. The main investment asset that is related to the energy refurbishment of public buildings and installation of renewable energy system in the three municipalities is going to be implemented thanks to a EPC contract that we are discussing with a local ESCO. The second investment related to the demolition and reconstruction of 2 NZEB school buildings is waiting for a confirmation, the confirmation of a contribution on a public tender related to the Italian EU Recovery Fund. And the third one, the revamping of public street lighting, is becoming a part of the present contract between the municipality of None and the actual energy service provider. So I think that it was really a successful initiative that allow us to implement several interventions for these 3 municipalities. Also, the environmental and energy side is the impact, are relevant. So we are really happy for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mauro. And then it's Vlatko from Croatia.
Sorry. Okay, I represent it's in Croatian scale. It's a large city, around 50,000 inhabitants, and with the funds of the European city facilities, we funded this investment concept of utilization, geothermal energy, and potential in the city of Comif-Eefmp. This first photo is half the church geothermal field. Now you can see the small vehicles there. That we were just conducting research for the building the drilling area. It's sort of about us. Just like I said, it's a project for City of Carlots. Partners are Geothermica. I represent here also Geothermica, and Gradska Toplana. Gradska Toplana is city district heating company. we intend to change fossil fuel, natural gas in city district heating with renewable energy, and the biggest we think it will go with district heating is geothermal energy. What's current situation here in Kalot? We have the city district heating company. It has over 8,000 users. It's homes and businesses. We got now a large infrastructure project in Karlovac. It's a revitalization of our water network. It's over in kunas. It's around 100 million kunas. It's in euros. It's pretty much 20 million of euros worth of this revitalization. That revitalization is there. We are moving the old pipes out of the ground and changing with the new ones. It's very good because we need to go just like our friends from Denmark. We want to have a new network and a large network, and our network is around 9 kilometers, not 9,000 kilometers. It's rather small. We also want to go on energy and efficiency, reduction of impact of energy poverty. It's a large problem here in Croatia. Energy efficiency, especially now when the energies are going up. And also, we want to introduce renewable energy sources in order to reduce energy dependence on energy imports. It's like we talk about this Russian gas. And the solution is also green energy. We applied for the European city facilities, and we got this investment concept from our project. And solution is seen on the screen, geothermal energy. In Karlovac, there is I forgot to mention, it's a large geothermal basin. It's called Pannonia Spirit. The past about 15 million years ago, there was a large sea. Now it's underground, and it's a big reservoir of geothermal water. So it's very suitable for using the geothermal water. In the 80s years, our oil company in Croatia conducted their researches, and they found that geothermal water, but that all the geothermal wells are far away from the city, and our investment concept is going to drill 2 new geothermal wells. With this geothermal energy, we want to use it as thermal energy and also electricity, because in Croatia we don't have for now district cooling system. We got only district heating system, and that over the summer we want to use this for the power plant. And also by replacing thermal energy, we will go to a reduction of green gas. It's very good for climate policy. We funding this project is very expensive because drilling is very expensive and it has a huge risk. And we are doing now documentation, and we are proudly say that we are finished with the documentation, and we have building permit. And next year, hopefully the spring, we will use Norway, Iceland grants for building this drilling space. And after that, we hope to build the first geothermal well, and they will test it with what is the capacity of what sort of water and so on. So I know this my time is very short, but I hope that I bring you some information about our project. We hope that we will. For now, we don't have funds where we can finance it, because European funds that just don't recognize the drilling. They recognize the drilling geothermal water, drilling for geothermal water, but using geothermal water. So in Croatia, we have 8 it's a public projects for city district heating and also using for electricity. And we hope that this time, especially now, that our projects will go focus. Thank you all for attendance, and sorry for the mistakes.
Thank you very much. I think really exciting stories from the ground, from cities who are really doing something to mobilize sustainable energy investments. That's really great to hear. But now I would like to hear the audience. Any questions from you?
Hello. Hi, my name is Eduardo Balakjian. I represent Dual Assets Europe. We're involved in one of the projects that was presented in the other room a little bit earlier, Propel, for energy efficiency finance. My question goes to the European Commission. A little bit earlier in the presentation, we had some interesting examples of measures that are being considered or introduced as part of this reinvigorated Repower EU program. My question would be, do you have some specific examples of financing schemes? You mentioned financing schemes being developed so that it's more targeted at scale and innovative than the current grant model, which was identified in the presentation as being somewhat insufficient. I think a lot of the people in today's event will probably agree. So what specific examples of financing schemes that you are considering or developing at the moment?
Thank you for the question. I cannot see you. Yeah, I think it's indeed as you were saying. I think it is really important to go one step beyond and really put in place financing schemes that really may help us to really deliver on the objectives that you have set. You know? And we cannot really rely only on grants. So we need to really try to see how we can really put in place financial schemes at scale. All right. So I mean, in the current setup, I mean, the options are there. So if coming back to the main EU programs in support of energy efficiency, that will be the RRF or the cohesion policy funds, for instance. I mean, all the options to have a combined support or to have financial instruments are there. So there is a possibility to implement these financial instruments within the cohesion policy funds. It is possible to implement these financing schemes within the recurrent resilience facility, and it is possible also to combine it with other EU programs. And in particular, I can refer to InvestEU, because InvestEU is, as you may know, it is really the EU program where we are really leveraging private investments, right? So we have the EIB group as the main implementer partner. It's going to implement, and it's implementing 75% of the InvestEU program. That, in a nutshell, it is a EU guarantee that it is split in different windows. But we also have other implementing partners from across Europe. And this is where we can see a lot of financial schemes really going ahead. But really, it's pretty much, at the end of the day, it's pretty much on member states that they have really the role of really implementing the funds that are available. It is also on them to also do this. To understand that somehow, and trying to go a bit beyond what it is the normal use of EU funds, and the field of energy efficiency is normally grants. So I think it is we need to bit by bit build blocks that will let us to go in this direction.
Yes. Another question there.
Sana Kisil, Covenant of Mayors Ukraine, and question to Carlos, maybe to municipalities. First question, I analyze how Covenant of Mayors reflects Green Deals, and I see the huge role of adaptation measures combined together with mitigation. How do you plan to support adaptation measures for your municipalities, taking into account less interest of private business through economic reason? And what about green bonds? Is this scheme, financial scheme, popular in Europe? Because it's only from my point of view, Ukrainian municipalities bonds is a good reason to attract investment, not only in mitigation, but in adaptation at the same. And my second question to municipalities. Usually in Ukraine, before the war, we received many strong messages from private investors that municipalities are not ready to attract investment, has capacity for pipeline, etc. What about you? How do you develop this project by project manager teams on your municipality? Since
Who wants to start?
From my side. Thank you for the question. I mean, on climate adaptation, I can only agree with you that this is very important. I'm fortunately not an expert on that, so I'm not sure that I will be able to help you very much. I don't know whether there is any Klima colleague around that can address that point, but I don't want really to say something that could be not fully accurate. Yeah, and then on the green bonds, I think it is indeed one of the tools that we consider in the EU that are promising. You know, that we have been working in these areas to give more prominence to green bonds that would be really catalyzed also for investments in the green energy transition. I would say in general. And I think we can expect also that the green bonds will be also more prominent as well in the future, and yeah, I think also on that, I think also in combination collaboration with some of our key partners, in particular, I'm also thinking, for instance, on the EV group that can also play quite an important role also in the EU market for green bonds. But yeah, I will leave it there.
Please, who wants?
Say Croatia also has a war in 90s, and it's lots of war damages, and we repair our state with not private investors but help from the outside. But when we came the candidate for European Union, they were going with the European funds, and then come the private investors. Private investors wants to invest in the safe region. When there was the war, they were private investors, but they were just speculating with investments in Croatia. But after the war and peace treaty and European candidate, they were coming these private investments and also investments from Croatia. People who have business ideas, they got credits from foreign banks and good financial solutions. And after that, Croatia came to be as one of the parts of Europe and started to develop. Croatian, the main economic resources of funds is tourism. So we can see that tourism, especially this year, is just like booming because of this situation around the Red Sea and far travels. And I think that these private investors, especially just like talking with the energy, is the only way to be independent. Tourism, but it's and it's industry of the type.
Yeah, and just also short reply from the perspective of a medium-sized municipality. I cannot really reply about private investment because it is still a big challenge from what we see from Scarbeck. Definitely dynamics like UCF and DCLIC helps to create transversality, to open up to opportunities. We're still really much trying to reach our colleagues internally to raise awareness, to make sure that they know what opportunities are out there. Now there is also the initiative on Cities Mission. This is another framework which is crucial for us, which is led by the region. So in a way, I'm just trying to say that we try now to create more synergies with European initiatives to create this buzz and leverage with the EU funds to reach out to further opportunities.
Thank you. Mauro, do you want to add something?
Yeah, for what concerns the Pinerolo experience, the management related to the private investor proposals, for example, to these public municipalities, Pinerolo can count about an external services of energy management, as I said, and this is useful to evaluate the private investor proposal, and also in this case, for example, related to the UCF project, it was really useful to reverse the paradigm. So it is the municipality that is setting up something useful based on its needs, and not but attractive for a private investor, and not a commercial initiative of some private investor on the municipality, because it's happened that municipalities sometimes are unprepared to face and to evaluate the commercial proposal. Energy management is the way.
One question there, and then we have one question from the chat, please.
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to ask what become with UCF as well as Elena with the new InvestEU. So there will be advisory hubs with InvestEU. So will Elena and the UCF keep their identity, or will it work on how will it connect? And I also wanted to apply for the municipal policy support facility for climate adaptation. Is tested now by DG Climat with a contract to Covenant of Mayor Secretariat. So it's not at the level of UCF for the moment, but the policy support facility is in test just now. Voilà.
Okay, thank you.
And also for the Mission City, I have a stand. So if you want to go to the Net Zero City stand near the coffee, please come at the break.
Thanks. We have a question from the chat for Vlatko. If you can tell us a bit more about the business model of the geothermal district heating and cooling Karlovas.
Well, this is what I think about investment.
So who would pay for the investments? If it's public, private, what about the risk? Are they covered, etc.?
For now, it's public, because risk is very high, and private investors just don't want to go in that huge risk. So we are conducting this research to lower the risk. After maybe public and private investment, but this project is primarily for public use. So if a private investor wants to find some interest in that, its energy is going to public use, and it be for after we can look after. So we can, for now, it's only public investment. So we're trying to build it with European funds and national funds.
Okay, thanks. Right. 1, 2, okay. So we are buying time for your coffee break, but if you want to stay here, I'm very happy.
Mine is very quick. For energy cities, you mentioned the possibility of funding projects through citizen finance, and I was wondering whether you have any estimates of the number or the percentage of investment concepts that actually incorporate this option.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your presentations. I have a very quick questions for the municipalities. And I was interested in understanding if through this grants or projects, then you also managed to build capacity to handle these investments in-house in the municipalities, or if it's always sort of relying on external agencies, consultancies, because it's interesting to understand if this then capacity can be owned to make the municipality itself a bit stronger in that sense? Thank you.
Okay, in our case, the capacity buildings the development of internal the training of internal person is done by another project. So while the investment concept was run thanks to the energy management board. So it's an important point, but in our situation we were able to do this on another thanks to another initiative. I think we are working. I mean I think that the municipality, for example, Pinerolo, that is the leading municipality in this case, is still is not autonomous, independent on this to face and to run with the proper with their own resources this kind of project. But I think it is something on which we are working on.
For DClick Brussels, as said, we hired an external consultant, so the crucial role of Sibelga was there. Although Sibelga is an intermunicipal cooperative, and one of the decision-making bodies made by energy director of the different municipalities. So this is a clear link between the expertise that is brought through the project in-house than in the different municipalities.
Short, yes, we also hired a consultant, and we cooperated with them building this investment concept.
Any other questions? Time for a coffee then. Just before concluding, I mean, I noted down that UCF helps cities to open up to opportunities. That was really great to hear. And I think we mentioned some of the opportunities like Elena, like InvestEU, like other funding programs. There is another opportunity which is provided by CINEA, which is called PDA, Project Development Assistance, which is a technical assistance facility for project developers to help you to develop your project further. So an investment concept is a great starting point, for instance, to then go to PDA and do a bit more of, let's say, activities in the direction of really managing to mobilize the investments at the end of the project. So live CT 2022 PDA, if you Google that, you will get all the information. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much to our speakers, and a big round of applause, I guess.